We were making some satisfying progress on our cottage renovation this week. Helping.
Finally, things felt like they were going well. Exciting times!
Until suddenly they weren't. We've got stations set up, are they? It's a very neat organisation of materials, if you don't mind me noticing that.
You've only got 20 minutes work time between each mix, so I can't mess around.
Yeah. And what are you doing today?
I'm pouring some self-levelling compound. Not necessarily to level the floor, because obviously I have professionals in to lay the floor. Mostly just to give me a perfectly smooth surface, so that the radon barrier, which is going down next, doesn't have any risk of getting any sharps. The aggregate and sand and whatnot is quite sharp, and once I've laid the radon barrier, I'm going to be walking back and forth over it when I'm going to be doing the insulation layer. Yeah, the radon barrier is like our life insurance, right? Our literal life insurance against a deadly lung cancer. Radon is not to be messed around with, so I thought I'm not taking any chances. And I would rather put the radon down on a perfectly smooth surface, and that's what the magic of self-levelling compound does. It gives us a perfectly smooth surface. That's the plan.
Great.
To the point that that spice roller is a great surface tension, so that it flows better.
Yeah. Helping. Quite satisfying.
It is quite satisfying. Like spreading mash.
Oh, I know what it's like. It's like tempering chocolate on marble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Except with a slightly less delicious outcome.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend eating it.
Did you just lick your lips? Chocolate. You keep like having to step on it to smooth it out, but then having to smooth it out because you've stepped on it. Do you just live in a perpetual state of stepping and smoothing now?
This is what I do now.
They see me rolling.
this evening's job, and the job of many evenings for many evenings to come, is to get the radon barrier down and get the insulation installed. Exciting. Had this insulation for months stashed upstairs. Finally able to make use of it. I've already made a start in the ensuite. I haven't filmed any of it, mostly because I lost the GoPro. Whoops. Yeah, using the main vlogging camera right now, which hasn't got very good anti-shake, so apologies for the poor footage. A few evenings getting this far. It's been the most kind of fiddly room because of all of the waste pipe penetrations. Getting the radon barrier down and detailed has been a time-consuming task. So each of these pipes has got a special hat, mushroom hat, which slips tight over the pipe and then laps over the main radon barrier, and then gets sealed in with butyl tape, and I've just taped it for good measure just to hold the edges down. So each of these pipes is a bit of a faff, and then obviously we've got all of the corners to detail. We've got an internal corner which are easy enough. These external corners took an absolute age, probably a good hour or so detailing these, making sure they're all airtight. A bunch of external corners here, lots of details which are time sinks. So it's taken me a good couple of solid evenings getting all of that done so far. And then we've got some of the insulation in, yay! Again, a lot more time consuming because we've got the pipe penetrations. You know, we've got corners like this which are, yeah, a bit of a faff. But anyway, getting there. So ensuite nearly finished. So I'm going to finish that off tonight and then onwards and upwards with the actual bedroom. I've got the first layer of radon barrier in here. We need to clear everything out, of course, get the radon barrier completed in the remaining space here, and then continue with the insulation boards. And hopefully it should be a damn sight faster in here because one big open space. There's a handful of details. So each of the appendages has got a little area that needs detailing up, and then of course we've got our tunnel, our walkway down into the lounge area. There's going to be a bunch of detail in there. Hopefully a couple of solid evenings I'll have this bedroom buttoned up, and then moving on to the lounge. Again, that'll be 2 or 3 days worth, and then laying underfloor heating pipe. Exciting!
Quite fun stuff to work with.
Just a plastic. It's nicer than PIR. Like a glove.
Is this better than plasterboarding?
Better than plasterboarding ceiling, yeah.
It's not as heavy though.
No.
What I'm trying to get at is this looks like a really easy job.
Well, so far, well, it would be easy if it was a normal room, but with all of these, that's a small room, so you go from, you know, one full piece which fits nice and easy, and then you've got to cut it in, one full piece to fit nice and easy, cut it in. And it's a big room, it's like, you know, satisfying to you know, be able to lay loads of slabs before getting to a detail that you need to faff about with.
Yeah, whereas it's all detail in here.
Yeah.
So, what's it time for?
Comment of the week from J Jordan D4G.
Comments like this just blow us away. The warmth, the intention behind them, the glimpse into this person's story. It means so much to us. And so we really wanted to feature this comment this week. I'll let you guys read it. And we loved the fact this person shared that their favourite poem was The Road Less Travelled by Robert Frost, one we know well and love. We loved everybody's poetry suggestions. I'm going to see if I can compile a list, because you guys are a cultured bunch, and yeah, we really enjoyed reading those. This commenter this week told us that her own homesteading journey ended when her husband passed away 10 years into their own story. And it's comments like that that really help us to keep in focus just how lucky we are. We have been a bit burnt out, as we've shared. We've had some mishaps, as you'll find out this week, but I feel like it is so helpful to us to just always zoom out, look at the bigger picture of how blessed we are in this moment for the opportunity that we have here, both with this cottage, this land, these animals, our family, but also with you guys. Like, we are just so grateful for this incredible community. One of those really unexpected parts of YouTube for us, isn't it? That doesn't get old. That the idea that someone out there might be having a bit of a bad day, hard time. It's been a tough week for us anyway, but I get emotional thinking about this. And the idea that us just being a couple of yeah, exactly, could bring a smile to someone's face or make someone feel even just 0.5% better. That's a big deal for us, isn't it? There's something that we don't take lightly and feels like an unexpected blessing of having this channel. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for everybody who's been commenting. Wow, she's a windy one today. So, on today's list is clearing, well, actually it's not too bad here, but clearing bramble from around the side of this pink extension. This bit, we didn't have sandblasted when we had the rest of the cottage sandblasted, because this is the modern extension. Ooh. So there's the rest of the cottage. This is the modern extension that we'll be replacing at some point, so there wasn't any point sandblasting it, but for now we're going to paint it white to tie it in with the rest of the cottage. And finally say goodbye to the last of the salmon pink. unsurprisingly, I'm getting scratched to pieces.
Oh, wow, what a mission. Finally, the radon barrier is laid. All of the corners, internal, external corners, all of the overlaps, all of the joins have all been detailed. It has been a labour intensive and a really dull project, but absolutely necessary, and it's done now. So here's a good example of some of the detailing that he's doing. So obviously where all of these odd corners end up, and I managed to do this room in 3 big sections because the roll of radon barrier was only 4 meters wide, and frustratingly the room is 3.8, so with a 20 centimeter or 8-inch upstand on either side, I needed a 4.2 meter wide roll. So I was 20 centimeters short. Story of my life. So I rotated the radon barrier and I cut the width to where I needed it to be, and then I was able to do a 4 meter with a big chunk of overlap, and then a final third section 4 meter with a big chunk of overlap. That upstand kind of flopped into this, into the opening here for the appendage, and then I needed to add an additional piece of radon barrier and then detail all of the joints, make sure that they're all sealed and airtight. That's the thing, radon's a gas, so somehow you need to be able to retrofit this piece of plastic and make it airtight. Nigh on implausible, but you know, if you're going to do it, you've got to give it the best shot possible, and that meant using lots of splodge, specifically a permanently elastic butyl/bitumen sealant splodged in there, and also the main tool of choice is this double-sided sticky butyl tape. So this was laid in all of the joints and overlaps, and yeah. So anyway, job done, jobbed, and it's done, finished. So I'm going to spend the next few evenings getting the insulation down in here, and then with a final DPM over the top of that, I'm ready for the underfloor heating pipes. Exciting times! Oh. Damn you, radon.
It was all going so well. The cottage extension cleared and ready to paint, and I actually love a painting project.
So the audience will probably want to know why you are hobbling around on crutches.
Yeah, so a bit of an eventful week. I was down, well, we were both down with the ponies, and they were getting absolutely terrorised by this huge hornet.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't actually seen it. My daughter and I have seen it several times, and for some reason it's scared of caveman, so when it goes down it disappears. It was really like antagonising them and wouldn't leave them alone, and they were like running around their paddock, bucking, running around their paddock. Anyway, so we went down with caveman, and so of course it disappeared, and the ponies chilled out, and I went over to reassure them. Now, before I tell you the next part, you don't need to tell me in the comments that this was stupid. I have the injury to prove that it's stupid, and I've learned the lesson the hard way. So I walked over to Gavin to try to reassure him, bless him, because he's the more like nervous of the two, isn't he, and more easily stressed. Sia just takes things in her stride, really. And he was like, they were kind of chilling in the shade, kind of calming down, weren't they? And I don't know what happened, if a noise freaked him out or if the hornet was back, but he kind of reared up and then took off over my foot, and I was wearing flip-flops. So I think that's what you would describe as...
Unideal.
Ideal.
0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Would not recommend a half-ton cob trampling and dancing on your foot. So there I was at the bottom of our valley. For those of you who've been around for a while, you know that we have basically 2 steep hills. In the middle, at the bottom of both of those was where this happened. So I'm there like crying, trying to do deep breathing on the floor. Kayvan had to fetch ice in a bucket, didn't you? And then he had to, what did you have to do to get me back up here?
Well, I could have carried you up over my shoulder, but
You thought of
it
that.
would have been uncomfortable for both of us.
Yeah.
So I had to fetch the wheelbarrow and wheelbarrow you up the field.
Fortunately, his wheelbarrow skills are much, you're more proficient with a wheelbarrow than I am, aren't you?
I've had a lot of practice, unfortunately.
Fortunately, I didn't tip out up the hill, but it was hard work, wasn't it? Steep hill. This is one of the reasons why you work out, so that you can push your wife in a wheelbarrow, incapacitated up a hill. So anyway, yeah, we spent the afternoon at the local hospital at the minor injury unit. Shout out to them. They were amazing, really efficient service, really
Yeah, it was
lovely
great.
people. And praise be, my foot is not broken, which we couldn't believe.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. If you, I will spare you the sight of my of my foot. I'm thinking of Mr. Deeds.
It's probably a good thing that we did lose the GoPro, because there probably would be some action shots of the carnage.
Yes. So anyway, somehow having this pony trample my foot did not result in it breaking. Yay! That was like such a relief. So I'm only on crutches for hopefully about a week. We'll see. Can't drive. Getting in and out of the caravan is really challenging. But bonus of caravan life is everything's really close at hand. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining. All in all, could have been far worse. So I am incapacitated for at least a week, but I mean, it would have been at least 6 if I'd broken it. Who knows? So we're taking it as a win.
Yeah. Winning.
What else?
Well, I haven't got much footage to show of the actual Reno progress, because just replaced the GoPro. So
Yes, so that was actually the real reason why. It's not the only reason. We did the 1 year recap because it had been 1 year and we'd always planned to do that. But no, it wasn't a week off. We just had very minimal footage the week before. Even if you'd had the GoPro, really bloody boring, because you're just putting down endless radon barrier.
yeah.
And it was just really fiddly work with plastic. Like
It was just a big black void of plastic.
Yeah, so I'm not sure any of you guys would have wanted to watch that anyway. We had a few people in the comments have minor heart attacks when they hadn't seen the thumbnail. They just pressed play on our video and they saw you saying we're going to have to drill up this concrete floor. And they thought we were drilling it back up again.
The one that we just poured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
We just really love breaking up concrete floors and excavating perfectly
again.
good work.
I felt so sorry. It was more than one person as well. It was a few people. So sorry about that. And also we had some complaints at me showing the window installation again. Some people had to
Yeah.
skip through because it was too traumatic. And
I skipped through.
some people said it doesn't get any easier with the rewatching, and I agree.
No, that concrete floor is never getting broken up, not in our lifetimes anyway, and those windows are not being removed in our lifetime, so
No one could get them out if they wanted to, that one in particular.
fear not.
Yes. Onwards and upwards. So we have been roping in our daughter. She has had to step up and become mum for the week, and she will maybe put in some, she doesn't always like being filmed, which we leave that up to her, but we might put in some footage because she has actually been helping with a bit of the reno, so you might get to see that next week.
So hopefully for those looking forward to some Reno action, we'll be having some more exciting progress, specifically on the underfloor heating pipework. I'll be undertaking the installation of 800 linear meters of pert underfloor heating pipework, 16mm diameter.
Just how pert is this pipe?
Well, it's 100% pert.
It is not just pert, it is pert pert.
800 meters of pert. That's the next instalment, so watch the space.
Well, I won't be helping with that one. And that was me so excited to get to help with the self-leveling compound. See you next week, folks.
See you, folks.
Not being carried this week. Bye. You've missed that. Cute. So I was wiggling around here because my good foot is uncomfortable from putting all my weight in it.
I like feet. I do not know why.
That feet will haunt my dreams.
That one, yeah.
That feet? Those feet. This foot would haunt many a nightmare. This morning I was like, oh, I think my foot's looking better, and then I looked at my other foot. Nope, I'm just used to looking at it.
Amazon wish list: steel mid-soled feet. Steel mid-toed feet. Steel mid-toed boots.
I'll just have my feet reinforced with steel plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, steel toe wellies, steel wellies.
Steel wellies.
That's what I need. You're purdy.
Right.
Get why I did that?
I'll be purdy after I finish installing 800 metres of it.
I've put.
Yeah.